Be me, 24-year-old spreadsheet monkey at a soulless luxury real estate conglomerate. We sell sterile glass boxes to tech bros with zero personality. I make $32K a year. I survive entirely on break room tap water and clinical anxiety. My blood is basically 90% cortisol at this point. It's a Tuesday. I am currently trapped inside the Obsidian, a $14 million model smart home. The air smells like bleached linen and aggressive ozone. There are no actual corners in this house. Standing 3 feet in front of me is Mr. Sterling, our sociopathic CEO. He is wearing a bespoke suit that costs more than my internal organs. His eyes are completely dead. He is staring at a white velvet couch. More specifically, he is staring at a white velvet throw pillow. It is rotated approximately 2 degrees to the left. He turns to me. His voice is a terrifying deadpan whisper. "Do you want to die penniless in a gutter?" My soul immediately attempts to leave my body. I stammer something pathetic about adjusting the cushions. He grabs my cheap polyester tie. He yanks me uncomfortably close. He smells like expensive gin and raw corporate malice. "This pillow is a symptom of a diseased mind," he hisses. "You are a diseased mind." I am actively trying not to pee my slacks. Suddenly he lets go and casually smooths his lapels. However, I have a problem that requires a completely disposable asset. He pulls a manila folder out of his briefcase. He shoves it violently against my chest. Forbes is doing a massive PR piece on my legacy next week. They want a wholesome family portrait. My daughter is difficult. I nod furiously, despite having no idea he even reproduced. She lives off the grid. She lacks basic societal programming. You are going to take her on a normal date to the Oakbridge Country Club tomorrow night. You will buy her a steak. You will make her presentable. If she bites a waiter, you are fired. If she talks to the press about the soil composition, you are fired. If you decline this mandate, I will systematically erase your existence from the workforce. I look down at the folder in my trembling hands. The picture paperclip to the front is blurry. It looks like a feral cryptid caught on a night vision trail cam. "I'll do it," I squeak. He smiles, displaying far too many teeth. "Pick her up at 6 p.m. Address is in the file." He walks out, leaving me hyperventilating in the sterile living room. I open the folder to memorize the street name. There is no street name. It's just a set of GPS coordinates leading deep into the municipal state forest. Drive my rust bucket hatchback into the dense municipal state forest. The road turned into gravel 5 miles ago. The gravel turned into an overgrown dirt trail 2 miles ago. I am wearing my only nice shirt. It is a mustard yellow polo from a thrift store. I am sweating so profusely my seatbelt is completely soaked. My car bottoms out on a massive tree root. The muffler lets out a tragic metallic wheeze. I finally reach the GPS coordinates. There is no house. There is only a chaotic compound made of corrugated tin and rotting shipping pallets. I step out of the car. My cheap dress shoes immediately sink into the mud. A heavy wooden door groans open. Sterling's daughter emerges from the shadows. My brain stops functioning. She is wearing a cape. It is made entirely of taxidermied possums. Their little glass eyes stare directly into my soul. She is holding a large mason jar. It is filled to the brim with pickled stag beetles. She approaches me with terrifying speed. She smells intensely of damp earth, formaldehyde, and pure malice. "You're the corporate blood boy," she states. Her voice is a raspy, commanding baritone. I manage a microscopic nod. "I'm supposed to take you to the Oakbridge Country Club," I whisper. She laughs. "It sounds like dry leaves being ground into dust." "We are absolutely not doing that." She circles me like a predator, assessing a sickly gazelle. She pokes my ribs with a dirt-caked fingernail. "What is your bone density?" she demands. "What?" I squeak. "Are your bones brittle? Do you fracture easily under blunt force?" I take a daily multivitamin." She narrows her eyes, clearly disgusted by my answer. "Pathetic. But you have a vehicle." She points a severed possum paw at my rusty hatchback. "We are going to the municipal landfill." My jaw drops. "But your dad said—" "My father is a sterile parasite feeding on a dying planet." She grabs me by my soggy mustard collar. She yanks my face inches from hers. "We need to forage for cursed objects. The harvest waits for no man." She releases me and marches toward the passenger side. She gets in and slams the door so hard my rearview mirror falls off. I stand frozen in the mud. If I take her to the dump, Sterling will end my existence. If I defy her, she will absolutely harvest my brittle bones. She starts violently honking the horn. I swallow my panic, get in the driver's seat, and put the car in reverse. I am driving down the interstate toward the city landfill. The smell of pickled beetles is permanently embedding itself into my upholstery. She is staring out the window, occasionally whispering to her possum cape. I grip the steering wheel until my knuckles turn white. I want to turn the car around. I want to drive to the country club and buy her a $90 steak. But I am completely paralyzed by fear. If I object, she might physically destroy my brittle bones. If I don't object, her father will definitely terminate my employment. I desperately need to keep my company dental insurance. I have a cavity on my lower left molar that throbs whenever I drink tap water. We pull up to the municipal dump. It is a sprawling wasteland of rotting garbage and aggressive seagulls. She kicks open the passenger door before the car even fully stops. The energy here is delightfully chaotic, she breathes. She points to a massive trench filled with neon green sludge and twisted metal. Into the muck, corporate boy. I step out, my cheap dress shoes instantly squelching into the vile mud. We need to harvest haunted copper wire, she barks. How do I know if it's haunted? I whimper. It will taste like regret, she yells, already waist-deep in the filth. I slowly wade into the toxic sludge. The sludge ruins my thrift store mustard polo on contact. It smells heavily of dead batteries and sour milk. She watches me carefully, her eyes narrowing in disgust. You are a fascinatingly pathetic creature, she notes. You possess absolutely zero internal fortitude. You are letting a woman in a dead animal cloak force you into a toxic waste pit. Why don't you fight back? She rips a rusty toaster out of the muck and hurls it past my head. Are you even a human being, or just a sentient HR memo? Something inside my brain makes a distinct, physical snapping noise. It is the sound of my last remaining shred of sanity breaking in half. I stop waiting. I lock eyes with her. I just want to keep my job, I scream. My voice echoes violently across the mountains of garbage. A seagull drops a moldy hot dog bun in shock. I don't care about the toxic sludge. I don't care about the haunted copper. I just want to pay my rent and get my molar filled. I stomp over to a half-buried, rotting washing machine. I let out a feral, unhinged shriek. I plunge both bare hands into the rusted chassis. I cut my palm on a jagged piece of sheet metal. I do not care. The pure cortisol is granting me hysterical strength. I rip the entire motherboard out of its housing in one violent motion. Sparks fly from a dying capacitor as wires snap. I hold the filthy, dripping motherboard above my head like a decapitated enemy. I am breathing like a wounded rhinoceros. I glare at her, my chest heaving, covered in garbage juice. She stares at me in absolute silence. Slowly, a terrifying smirk spreads across her dirt-smudged face. Excellent, she purrs. Now you are ready to hear my plan. We are sitting on the dented hood of my rusty hatchback. There is a trash fire burning merrily in an oil drum nearby. She is roasting a stale marshmallow on a jagged piece of haunted copper wire. I am holding a marshmallow with my bare, bleeding hand. It tastes like ash and tetanus. I chew it anyway. The hysterical adrenaline from ripping out the motherboard is fading. The crushing reality of my situation is creeping back in. She turns to me, her possum cape catching the orange firelight. You have proved you are not entirely spineless, she says. You just require extreme psychological torment to act. I nod slowly, staring blankly at the flames. So, let's talk about my father, she continues. He is unveiling the Elysium block next Friday. It is a multi-million-dollar neighborhood of fully automated smart mansions. I know about this project. It is the crown jewel of our soulless conglomerate. My boss's entire legacy hinges on a successful launch. She leans in close, smelling intensely of smoke and pickled bugs. I am going to turn his pristine glass boxes into a demonic spectacle. I stop chewing my tetanus marshmallow. What do you mean, a demonic spectacle? The houses are connected to a centralized smart grid, she explains. We are going to hijack the mainframe. We will make the appliances scream. We will make the sprinklers weep blood. We will traumatize the elite investors until their souls leave their bodies. I stare at her in absolute horror. If Mr. Sterling finds out I am within 10 miles of this treason, he will bury me under a cement foundation. But then my panicked brain does some rapid corporate math. The Forbes photo shoot is on Wednesday. The smart home unveiling is on Friday. If I help you, I start, my voice trembling. Will you put on a dress and act normal for the magazine? She laughs, a sound like a rusty gate swinging in the wind. I will be the picture of aristocratic perfection. I will smile, I will eat a medium-rare steak with the proper fork. But only if you get me access to the development server room. I look down at my ruined thrift store polo. I think about my throbbing lower left molar. I think about Mr. Sterling's dead, terrifying eyes. I am stuck between a sociopath in a bespoke suit and a psychopath in a possum cape. I choose the possum. Okay, I whisper. I'll be your inside man. She grins, her teeth reflecting the trash fire in a way that chills my blood. Excellent. We start tonight. She tosses the heavy jar of pickled beetles into my lap. Hold these. I need to borrow a crowbar, and we need to steal your manager's key card. It is 9 a.m. on Wednesday. I am standing in Mr. Sterling's immaculate penthouse office. My heart rate is hovering around 160 beats per minute. He demands a progress report on his feral offspring. I lie with a terrifying sociopathic smoothness. I tell him she is currently attending a high society etiquette class. I tell him she has developed a deep, sophisticated passion for tennis. He actually smiles. It is the most unnatural, bone-chilling expression I have ever witnessed. He slides a crisp corporate envelope across his mahogany desk. For your exceptional handler skills, he whispers. I open the envelope with sweaty, trembling fingers. It is a bonus check for $15,000. My untreated cavity instantly stops throbbing out of sheer financial shock. I leave the office feeling like a wealthy, untouchable fraud. It is 2 a.m. on Thursday. I am belly crawling through the manicured hedges of the Elysium block. I am wearing cheap black tactical gear I bought at a surplus store. The daughter is crawling right beside me in the dirt. She absolutely refused to take off the taxidermied possum cape. She claims the glass eyes confuse thermal security cameras. I swipe my stolen managerial key card at the service entrance of a $20 million smart mansion. The heavy glass door clicks open with a soft, expensive sigh. We slip inside the sterile, climate-controlled darkness. My job is to pry open the central server racks in the utility basements. Her job is to upload cursed audio files to the smart speaker network. I am frantically stripping fiber optic cables with my bare teeth. She is furiously typing on a cracked laptop covered in the pagan bumper stickers. I am routing the low-frequency ghost noises into the primary bedroom walls, she whispers. It will cause localized vertigo and intense existential dread. I nod blankly, securing the malicious splice with electrical tape. We repeat this exact felony in 12 different luxury homes. My double life is taking a severe toll on my physical health. I am running entirely on break-room espresso packets and pure treason. By day, I am Sterling's golden boy, fabricating a perfect corporate heiress. By night, I am a digital eco-terrorist wiring luxury bidets to spray ice water. The cognitive dissonance gives me a permanent twitch in my left eyelid. But the deception actually works. The Forbes photo shoot goes absolutely flawlessly. She wears a pearl necklace and eats a medium-rare steak without biting a single waiter. Sterling is so overjoyed he offers me a company parking spot. I accept it while secretly clutching the sabotage remote in my pocket. Now it is Friday evening. The grand unveiling of the Elysium block is exactly 1 hour away. I am standing in the main plaza wearing a rented tuxedo. My sweaty hand is gripping the remote control inside my jacket. The catering staff is finishing the massive champagne fountain. The first fleet of blacked-out billionaire limousines is pulling through the main gates. There is absolutely no going back now. The main plaza of the Elysium block is blindingly bright. It is swarming with local politicians and arrogant socialites. Tech billionaires in turtleneck sweaters are comparing offshore bank accounts. The air smells like expensive caviar, expensive perfume, and impending doom. Waiters circulate with silver trays of microscopic hors d'oeuvres. I am standing next to the massive, bubbling champagne fountain. My rented tuxedo is already sticking to my nervous sweat. Mr. Sterling is holding court near a towering ice sculpture of his own face. He looks incredibly smug. A sleek black town car pulls up to the red carpet. The driver opens the rear door. A collective gasp ripples through the crowd of investors. The daughter steps out. My jaw genuinely unhinges. She is not wearing dead possums. She is wearing a shockingly elegant, midnight blue evening gown. Her hair is perfectly styled into a classic French twist. She looks like a pureblood aristocrat stepping out of a Vogue magazine. She glides through the crowd with terrifying, predatory grace. Local politicians practically trip over themselves to kiss her hand. She spots me from across the plaza. She pauses directly behind the champagne fountain. She locks her intense dark eyes on mine. She gives me a slow, exaggerated wink. I almost swallow my own tongue. Mr. Sterling gestures for me to join him on the main presentation stage. My legs feel like overcooked spaghetti. I stumble up the plexiglass steps. I take my designated position exactly 3 feet behind his left shoulder. He leans back slightly, keeping his eyes on the wealthy crowd. "You did excellent work with the feral creature," he murmurs. "I might actually let you live past Tuesday." I try to force a grateful smile. It probably looks like a grimace of terminal pain. My right hand is buried deep in my tuxedo jacket pocket. My fingers are wrapped tightly around a small plastic remote control. There is a single red button in the center. My heart is hammering against my ribs so hard I can hear it in my ears. The constant thumping is making me genuinely dizzy. Sterling steps up to the silver microphone. He taps it twice. The low hum of arrogant billionaire chatter immediately falls silent. He flashes his trademark, dead-eyed sociopathic smile. "Welcome to the future of elite living," his voice booms through the plaza. "Welcome to the Elysium block." A pair of models roll out a giant ceremonial red ribbon. Sterling reaches into his jacket and pulls out comically large golden scissors. He turns to look at his perfectly poised daughter in the front row. She flashes a polite, aristocratic smile. She subtly taps her wristwatch. It is time. Sterling raises the golden scissors to the thick red ribbon. The press photographers raise their cameras to capture the legacy-defining moment. My sweaty thumb presses hard against the red button. The red button clicks with a soft, hollow plastic snap. For a single, agonizing millisecond, nothing happens. Then, every single light in the 12-mansion block violently dies. The massive architectural floodlights shut off. The underwater pool illuminations blink out. The extravagant champagne fountain grinds to a mechanical halt. The sudden, absolute darkness is completely deafening. The crowd of elite investors falls dead silent in sheer confusion. Mr. Sterling's giant golden scissors freeze mid-cut. Then, the demonic spectacle officially begins. A low, booming Gregorian chant echoes from 12 different luxury kitchens simultaneously. It is the heavy automated voices of 60 smart refrigerators chanting in synchronized Latin. The bass notes physically vibrate through the soles of my cheap dress shoes. The manicured lawns suddenly erupt with a violent hissing sound. The state-of-the-art irrigation system forcefully activates. Instead of water, it begins spraying hundreds of gallons of thick crimson liquid, the red-dyed fluid geysers into the air, raining down on the screaming crowd. A local politician is immediately blinded by a direct hit of fake blood. He trips backward into the towering ice sculpture of Mr. Sterling's face. The ice shatters into 1,000 pieces with a terrifying crash. Dozens of circular robotic vacuums suddenly deploy from their hidden charging bays. We bypass their collision sensors and crank their motors to maximum overdrive. They swarm the cobblestone plaza like a horde of aggressive metallic rats. They violently ram into the shins of panicked socialites. They are loudly emitting the low-frequency ghost noises we uploaded. Total, unadulterated anarchy instantly consumes the Elysium block. Tech bros and ruined cashmere turtlenecks slip wildly on the bloody pavement. A wealthy venture capitalist tries to sprint for his blacked-out limousine. He is immediately taken out at the ankles by a pack of 6 screeching Roombas. The smart speaker network reaches a terrifying crescendo of existential groans. I am completely frozen on the plexiglass presentation stage. My rented tuxedo is completely drenched in sticky red water. From the dark tree line bordering the neighborhood, a sound cuts through the screaming. It is the daughter's raspy, terrifying baritone laugh. She has already shed her elegant midnight blue evening gown. She is back in the woods, wearing her taxidermied possum cape. She is cackling wildly into a stolen police-grade megaphone. "The earth reclaims her soil," she bellows into the chaotic night. "Your sterilized boxes will become your tombs." Mr. Sterling drops his comically large golden scissors. He slowly turns around to face me. His face is dripping with dark red dye. His bespoke, multi-$1,000 suit is permanently destroyed. His dead, sociopathic eyes drop to my right hand. He stares directly at the plastic sabotage remote I am still actively clutching. A vein the size of a garden hose bulges dangerously on his forehead. My primitive survival instinct completely overrides my clinical anxiety. I drop the remote, turn on my heel, and sprint blindly toward the nearest open smart mansion. I am sprinting through the dark halls of a $20 million smart mansion. My wet dress shoes squeak frantically against the imported Italian marble. I can still hear the robotic vacuums screeching outside. I can still hear billionaires weeping. I find a massive walk-in pantry in the chef's kitchen. I dive inside and slam the heavy oak door shut. I drag a 50-pound sack of organic quinoa in front of the door for good measure. I collapse onto the cool tile floor. I am hyperventilating so hard I am tasting copper. My life is permanently over. Mr. Sterling is going to literally murder me with comically large scissors. Or the SWAT team is going to black-site me for corporate terrorism. I curl into the fetal position between rows of artisan truffle oil. I wait for the inevitable release of death. 10 minutes pass in agonizing, blood-pumping silence. Then, heavy footsteps echo against the marble outside. They stop directly in front of the pantry. A fist slams into the oak door. The entire wall violently shakes. "Open the door," a deadpan voice commands. It is Sterling. I whimper pathetically and try to merge my physical body with the quinoa sack. Suddenly, the heavy oak door explodes inward. The lock completely shatters into metal shrapnel. The door hinges scream as they are ripped from the frame. Mr. Sterling steps over the splintered rubble. He looks like a bespoke slasher movie villain. His hair is plastered to his skull with thick red dye. His expensive suit is completely ruined. His chest is heaving, but his face is completely wrong. He is not scowling, he is smiling. It is a manic, unhinged, terrifyingly wide grin. He lunges forward. I scream and cover my face, preparing to be strangled to death. Instead, two massive hands grab my shoulders. He hauls me to my feet and violently embraces me. He crushes me against his wet, sticky, crimson chest. He smells like iron, gin, and absolute madness. "You absolute visionary," he roars. My brain completely blue screens. I go limp in his arms. He shakes me back and forth. "The Latin fridges! The bleeding sprinklers!" He screams joyfully. "I thought you were just a pathetic spreadsheet monkey. I had no idea you were a guerrilla marketing genius." I finally managed to push myself a few inches away from his bloody lapels. "Marketing?" I choke out. He pulls a waterproof tablet out of his ruined pocket. He aggressively shoves the glowing screen into my face. "Look at the engagement metrics, you magnificent bastard." The screen is displaying a social media feed moving at the speed of light. Every single post is a shaky video of billionaires fleeing the screaming Roombas. The hashtag Elysium Haunted Mansion is trending globally. "We have 60 million views in 12 minutes, Sterling cackles. "The youth demographic is losing their collective minds." He grabs my ruined collar again, his dead eyes burning with a terrifying new fire. "Get out of this pantry immediately. There is someone in the foyer you absolutely need to meet." Mr. Sterling is dragging me by my ruined lapels. My feet are barely touching the imported Italian marble. I am still hyperventilating so hard my vision is vibrating. We burst through a set of massive oak double doors. We enter the grand foyer of the $20 million model mansion. The room has been turned into a chaotic corporate command center. 4 terrified board members are huddled around a mahogany dining table. They are all covered in sticky red dye and trembling violently. Sterling violently shoves me to the front of the room. I stumble and almost face-plant into a shattered marble vase. He gestures at me like I am a prized, blood-soaked show dog. "Behold the architect of our absolute triumph," he bellows. The board members stare at me with a mixture of horror and awe. Sterling points a long, crimson-stained finger at a massive flat-screen monitor. "Look at this wire transfer," he he screams, spitting red saliva. I squint at the glowing screen. There is a pending transaction with an obscene, impossible amount of zeros. My brain physically struggles to process the math. An eccentric tech billionaire from Silicon Valley just saw the live stream, Sterling cackles. He is obsessed with post-ironic apocalyptic immersion. He just bought the entire Elysium block. He paid double the asking price in pure, untraceable cryptocurrency. My jaw drops so fast it actually hurts my hinges. I accidentally swallow a drop of red dye that was dripping from my nose. It tastes heavily of corn syrup and panic. This spineless genius engineered the greatest viral stunt in real estate history. Sterling roars. He claps me on the back so hard, I almost fracture a rib. The board members slowly begin a hesitant, synchronized golf clap. They are literally applauding me for high-stakes corporate terrorism. I am officially failing upward at the speed of sound. Suddenly, the temperature in the foyer seems to drop 10 degrees. A shadow detaches itself from the corner of the room. The daughter steps into the harsh fluorescent light. She is back in her taxidermied possum cape. She is casually wiping thick fake blood off her cheek with a lace handkerchief. The board members instantly recoil in primal fear. Sterling doesn't even notice her. He is too busy furiously typing on his waterproof tablet to secure the crypto wallet. She glides toward me, smelling of ozone, wood smoke, and crushed beetles. She stops exactly 2 inches from my face. I hold my breath to keep from inhaling her terrifying aura. She looks deep into my terrified, twitching eyes. The psychotic smirk on her face is completely gone. It is replaced by an expression of genuine, horrifying affection. She reaches out a dirt-caked finger. She gently traces the line of my jaw. My spine turns to absolute ice. "You beautiful, chaotic little spreadsheet monkey," she purrs. "You actually burned it all down for me." I want to explain that I was just trying to save my dental insurance. I want to explain that I am a coward and entirely dead inside. But she cuts me off by grabbing my rented tuxedo tie. "We are going to do such terrible things together," she whispers. Mr. Sterling suddenly stops typing and looks up from his tablet. His dead, sociopathic eyes lock onto both of us. He slowly smiles the most terrifying smile I have seen yet. Mr. Sterling's terrifying smile stretches impossibly wide. He looks from my blood-soaked tuxedo to his feral offspring. He violently claps his hands together. The sound echoes through the foyer like a gunshot. "It is settled!" he booms, pointing a manicured finger at my chest. "You are no longer a disposable spreadsheet monkey. As of this exact second, you are the head of experimental developments." He reaches into the breast pocket of his ruined bespoke suit. He pulls out a heavy metallic rectangle. He aggressively slaps it into my trembling palm. It is a solid Platinum Company credit card. It is still slightly warm from his body heat. "You have an unlimited budget," he whispers intensely. "I want more blood. I want more robots. I want complete market dominance." I stare blankly at the Platinum card. It weighs more than my entire previous net worth. Sterling grabs my shoulder, his grip like a vice. He pulls me in close, his breath reeking of expensive gin and victory. "And you will marry my daughter." My brain stops processing the English language. I look at the daughter. She is gently stroking the glass eye of a taxidermied possum. She winks at me again. "I demand it!" Sterling hisses, shaking me slightly. "We must secure your visionary corporate genius within the family bloodline. You are going to breed a dynasty of ruthless guerrilla marketers." I try to explain that my genes are mostly composed of anxiety and tap water. I try to explain that I am one loud noise away from a massive cardiac event. I open my mouth to speak. I look at Sterling's dead, expectant eyes. I look at the daughter's dirt-caked, predatory grin. I do the only thing I have ever been good at. I completely capitulate to the sociopaths in the room. I nod slowly and put the Platinum card in my pocket. Fast forward to Monday morning. I am sitting behind a massive desk carved from an endangered mahogany tree. I am in the corner penthouse office of the corporate headquarters. I am wearing a suit that costs more than my previous car. My dental insurance is now a premium platinum tier. My lower left molar feels absolutely phenomenal. The air smells like bleached linen and aggressive ozone. The daughter is sitting on my white velvet couch. She is using my solid gold letter opener to dissect an owl pellet. Her possum cape is draped elegantly over the armrest. She looks up at me and smiles with terrifying affection. I sip a bottle of imported sparkling water. I look out the floor-to-ceiling windows at the city below. I hold the fate of a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate in my hands. I am the architect of the future. I am a titan of industry. And I achieved it all simply because I am a spineless coward.